They say seeing is believing or not. Get ready for 11 optical illusions that will fool your eyes. Those who create optical illusions use combinations of colored light or specific patterns that can really fool the brain. So get ready to test your visual perception with this fun challenge. The first is creepy. This is a famous 1892 drawing by Charles Allen Gilbert called All is Vanity, and depending on what you see first, it can look a bit spooky. Most people who look at it don't even realize that the drawing is much more than it appears. Did you notice anything unusual about this photo? Anyone looking at the drawing has 10 seconds to find out. Keep an eye out for a woman sitting in front of the makeup mirror or a creepy-looking skull if you manage to see both at the same time. Congratulations, your visual perception is quite impressive. Okay, here are hidden faces. Here's another challenging image where you have to find something now completely hidden. At first glance it may seem way too easy. After all, everyone can clearly distinguish at least 4 faces in the branches of the trees, but like everyone there is optical illusion a snag. See how many more faces you can spot in the next 10 seconds. If you found 10 faces hidden between the branches, then you are an extremely observant person. Some say that these faces are in fact those of famous public figures. See someone sharing your ideas in the comments below. A. Music. Beautiful lady. This beautiful lady must be a ballerina, how else could she spin with such grace? Oh, like she's walking on tiptoe, but we're not here to talk about her artistic skills. Can you tell if it's moving in 1 or 2 directions? Do you think left and right are both? The correct answer is that things are moving in the right direction. Cafe wall illusion. The name of this illusion was inspired by a tiled wall of a Bristol cafe, like Starbucks, close by, but I won't tell you more for now. Can you tell if the dark lines are parallel or slanted given 10 seconds? Discover it again. It seemed like a simple question. The lines are so clearly slanted that it turns out we can't blur the image a bit more. Now that all the little elements are totally out of focus, you can see the dark blue lines parallel to each other. Well, that's not fair. This phenomenon is known as the cafe wall illusion. It was first described over 100 years ago, but didn't get its name until the 1970s, when a man named Steve Simpson noticed a similar effect on the wall of a Bristol pub. Small black and white stones at the intersection of broad lines make this illusion possible. Curved elements within the blue lines only enhance this effect. The reason we see this distortion is that our retinal neurons and neurons in the visual cortex work together in a really weird way. Number 5. The impossible triangle hits the impossible triangle. But wait, what makes it so impossible? You have 10 seconds to figure it out before you hear the explanation. The impossible triangle is also known as the Penrose triangle, so named because it can never exist in reality. If it existed, it would absolutely violate the rules of Euclidean geometry. What's so wrong with this figure? Now if you follow the sphere that slides across the surface of the triangle from the top point, you will see that the left side extends and the right side tilts towards you. However, both seem to be on the same level, only an optical illusion makes it possible for the human eye. Number 6. Bike. Okay, this one seems pretty simple. A bike and it's still riding. Something is wrong here, something mysterious. Can you find out what the trick is? You have 10 seconds to do this. What makes the bike move is clearly the fact that the spokes in the wheels now turn. It can't be that simple with optical illusions. In fact, the spokes stay in place and the colors that fill the wheels are these 50 shades of gray. This illusory motion effect is constantly changing. This illusory motion effect is created by small, quick movements. Scientists are still trying to figure out how this phenomenon works to better understand the perception of motion. Now I present to you the Rubik's Cube. What are all those red, green, and white lines? This sounds familiar, but what is it exactly? If you need more time, just pause the video. We need a cylindrical mirror to get the correct answer. It's a magic cube. This optical illusion is based on an amorphous. Hey, I remember an amorphous one. Used to live near the street. In fact, it is a form of perspective. The idea here is to use a cylindrical mirror to transform images that are so distorted it's almost impossible to guess them into something that makes sense, and only makes sense if you do it through a special person. Watch it at a time would be a great way to send hidden messages. As it turns out, this technique isn't an invention of the 21st century 3D era, but actually dates back to the late Renaissance in the 16th century. Seconds, and please try not to get hypnotized. As hard as it is to believe that the eyes actually stay where they were. You can tell just by focusing on one of them, by staring at a point and ignoring the constant movement of the black and white dots, all will become clear and the dust will disappear, right? Steve Buscemi. Can you tell me what's wrong with Steve Buscemi? I hope Steve is fine, but can you tell me what's wrong with the second picture? Let's try to turn it upside down. Oh ho, now that's way too scary. Looks like my eyes have tricked me again. Hermann's lattice illusion and sparkling lattice illusion. Look at this black square crisscrossed with vertical white lines. The white dots at the intersections of the grid change color from white to gray and back. If you focus on a specific point, you will see that it is white, but as soon as your attention wanders, the point turns gray. This is the illusion of the Hermann grid. It's fantastic. So that we can take this illusion a step further by placing white dots at the intersections of the gray lines that are all on the black background. Look closely at this image and you will see black dots appearing at the intersections of the grid. Doesn't it give a sparkling effect? Another name for this illusion is a simultaneous light contrast illusion, where you see the dots as white one moment and see them almost immediately as black the next. How is that? Have you noticed this effect yet? If you don't take your time, you can pause the video and watch this illusion a little longer. Why would you fail your senses by seeing gray or black instead of white? In fact, this illusion demonstrates one of the most important principles of human perception. Don't always see things as they really are. This is because the retinal cells in your eyes act as light receptors. When only one receptor is illuminated, it perceives more light than when its peers are also illuminated. This prevents neighboring receptors from being activated so that the effect is only laterally transmitted. Let's see how it works with the Hermann lattice illusion. The white lines are arranged so that there is more light around the intersections than along the lines themselves, making the points at the intersections more inhibited and you see dark areas. Are you really impressed? But the best is yet to come. Just think about that one box. It takes a big box and a small box and some magic to make this illusion happen. I'll leave some room for your imagination here. In the comments section, let's discuss how it is possible for the small box to be outside and inside at the same time and be part of the big box. So how many optical illusions have you cracked? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like, share with your friends and click subscribe to stay on the funny page.